So I just want to introduce Darren Clark. Darren joins us. He's on Zoom in the studio. Hi, Darren. It's an honour to have you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on.
That's good. Do you want to tell me a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm a global neurodiversity consultant. So I work with schools and the educational side of it and corporates in raising awareness for neurodiversity.
Brilliant. And I read your LinkedIn profile this week, and I was really touched by what you wrote on there. So I hope you don't mind, but I want to read it out. It's a bit wordy, so I thought I'd read it out. No. But I just think it gives listeners a bit of an insight into you. All right. So this is what Darren wrote. I really struggled at school. No matter how hard I tried, I just didn't seem to be learning at the same pace as peers. Being asked to stand up in class would fill me with anxiety, and I would come home to my family every day feeling stupid and with crippling headaches. Each day at school, I would hope that things would somehow be better, and my understanding of the lessons would suddenly improve. Sadly, this never happened. As I moved upwards through the year at school, most of my time would be spent in the unit, a freezing porter cabin in the far reaches of the school ground, where the problem kids were sent to receive help. Special help would never materialise, and I came to understand that kids were sent to the unit to get them out the way. That brought tears to my eyes, Darren. So that was you when you were younger, and obviously struggling in a system that puts round pegs into square holes.
Absolutely.
How was it?
Well, I guess at the time, I guess I just had this kind of hidden strength, I guess, that just, continued through it. But it's only been the kind of probably the past couple of years I've really reflected on, especially the work that I'm doing with schools and raising more awareness. I've been able to kind of look back on it and see, how tough it was. It was, I kind of, break down some of it. I probably don't, I don't want to go into the great details of everything, but it paints a picture. And I guess, the era that I was in around, the awareness of dyslexia was sadly, I was kind of missed through the educational system. I don't really want the work that I do now is just try and stop people going through the same thing that I went through.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, because I think we're going to talk to a mum in a minute later in the show whose daughter is dyslexic, but my daughter had dyspraxia and the same feelings. But also, I used to be a supply teacher, Darren, not that long ago, and I used to get the bottom classes. And it almost felt like it was wasted time for the children that were in those bottom classes. So I think it's really, really important to highlight it and make sure children that feel like you did when you were younger that don't have to go through the same thing. So you've chosen a song, Walking on Sunshine. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that one?
Yeah, so it stems from my childhood, really. And I've always been, I don't know if it's my ADHD or dyslexia. I've always been kind of bouncy around and loved music, and I found it's an escapism, and this was what got me out of bed in the mornings to get me off to school. I just remember it playing so much as a child, so it brings happy memories back.
Amazing music, isn't it? So we're going to listen to this, and then we're going to talk to you some more, because it's such an interesting subject. Okay, so Darren says that if his camera was on, he'd see us dancing. He'd see him dancing. But we've all got, that song is such an uplifting song as well, isn't it? It's just wonderful. So Darren, so Chrissy and I were saying in the break that listening and to what I read out actually brought a tear to our eyes, because it's very emotive. Tell us a little bit more about your life and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, no, so absolutely. So school was, if you can picture, was a difficult time. Hence, I wasn't put through any exams, so left school without any qualifications and really struggling to read and write, basically. So I applied for lots of different jobs, and again, leaving school without any qualifications means things are a lot more trickier than they are anyway. So I left school. My mum, I applied for so many different jobs, anything. I remember borrowing my dad's suit, which was about 3 sizes too big for me, and walking into places like banks and shops and just asking for jobs. I think I had about 20 application forms. My mum helped me fill out all of them. And I fell in love with retail. And I started my first job just pushing trolleys 12 hours a week. Fell in love with retail, and then managed to kind of work my way up through the retail sort of ladder, the progression through that. And that was incredibly, difficult. Again, not having any qualifications, but managed to kind of work my way to regional manager, looking after many staff in stores. And then moving forward, I then left that, started my own business. And it wasn't until the age of 36 that I was a year into my business that I started really kind of looking into the dyslexia and the ADHD, because this was I was still undiagnosed at this point. And how I found out I was dyslexic was purely by chance. It was I think it was in the afternoon, like a Points West TV interview. Someone was interviewing someone from a floristry business, and they kept saying, "Why did you set up this floristry business?" They kept saying, "Well, I'm dyslexic. I can't, tell you. I can't write down what the bouquets are, but I can tell you by colour and smell and everything else." And she kept talking about dyslexia and some of the things that they struggle with. And it was like one of those light bulb moments where it kind of resonated with me, some of the struggles that I had in. So once I realised how to spell dyslexia, I Googled it, and then I looked into lots of different things. I went for a test, and they diagnosed me with dyslexia and ADHD. That changed considerable amount of where my journey kind of took. So I started working with the educational side of it, and I think I've spoken to about just over 85,000 students over the past 6-7 years around business, entrepreneurship, and dyslexia, neurodiverse. And now I've been on, the past 2 years, I've been on a kind of a campaign globally, really, in raising more awareness and teaching and training. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what brings me to today.
Yeah, excellent. Absolutely excellent. And yes, I went on your LinkedIn, saw all the fantastic things you did to raise dyslexia. Because to be honest, the statistics on dyslexia are sort of between 5 and 10% of the population, aren't they? But I'm sure that's a lot. There's a lot more that don't go undiagnosed, like you, even from childhood to adulthood. What do you think the real figure is?
Statistically a lot more, but purely on the basis of, if you think, I went through the system, I guess, age 36, and a lot of the work that I've done, people I've spoken to, they're getting diagnosed in sort of late 50s, late 60s. I think one gentleman, 72, got diagnosed with dyslexia. So I think it's more known, even though there's so much work to be done now, it's more known and prevalent that people are either getting diagnosed earlier or at least understanding, about it. But that statistic is basically on people that are actually diagnosed and have that support element there.
Yeah, fascinating subject.
It's really interesting because people are still searching all their life for something that they don't know what is. They know something's not quite right. And this chap who's 72 has just been diagnosed. He must now think, I knew there was something. I just needed someone to say what it was so I know what I've been living with.
Absolutely. I think, some people take the diagnosis in so many different ways. For me, it was a bit of a relief in some aspects, I guess, because I used to kind of, beat myself up, metaphorically speaking, in the sense of some of the promotions that I didn't get, or the jobs I didn't get, or some of the things that I struggled with. I get complete burnout if I'm working too much, or words moving around the screen. And I've learned a lot of self-care to understand that when I get to those points of kind of down toolsing and stopping, and taking those breaks as well. But I guess it's, people say, when you found out, at the age of 36, what did you do? And I guess I think that's primarily what I did. I kind of, just took a little bit of stock and then kind of carried on. But I know it's not the case with some people.
Yeah. You've chosen a song, The Only Way Is Up, which is another favourite of mine. I'm sure it is of yours, Chrissy, as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. that song has significance for you, you were saying.
Yeah, massive significance. It was, I guess for me, there's been loads of periods in my life where, the undiagnosed dyslexia, some of the pressures of work and life and everything that's kind of been there. And that song, for some reason, I always listen to it on the radio when it comes up, and it always lifts my spirits, and it has a really significant element. It just energizes me for some unknown reason, and it's kind of a go-to song. Even now, I would listen to it when I need that kind of motivation and that energy to pick me up.
Okay, so we're all going to get motivation and energy now. So you can dance again and everyone at home, if you just get off your backside, stand up, get moving. Here's a little song to sing to. For the listeners today, we are joined by Darren Clark, Monique and Sophie. And the subject today is dyslexia. So if you want to join in the conversation, we are available on 01628 488 975. 07900 97975 is our text number, or email us at studio@marlowfm.co.uk. Darren, how's lockdown been for you?
Well, it seems to have, like everyone, seems to have kind of been going on for an incredibly long time now. And I guess when it initially happened, we had kind of, to get everything in order and all these different things and businesses and everything. But I guess we're at the time now. It's been kind of a bit kind of up and down, if I'm honest, because emotionally, physically, mentally, everything. That element. So it's been tough, but we've been doing keeping ourselves really busy. We've been still connecting with different people from across the globe, and we created a global network which enabled people to continue speaking and raise more awareness about dyslexia. So it's been incredibly tough. I'm not going to lie about that, but we're getting through it and connecting and united people still.
What about what are your feelings now? Because obviously there's so many parents out there that are homeschooling, so many children that are sort of homeschooling themselves as such, the older ones. How difficult is that if you've got dyslexia?
Oh, it's incredibly difficult. And I think homeschooling in general is, I so much credit for parents with homeschooling. It's tough at the best of times. When you bring in neurodiversity, you bring in dyslexia, ADHD. The child's routine is obviously goes out the window. There's elements of the child's concentration. I know for my element of dyslexia, I need space, and I need a certain routine, I guess. But the biggest thing that has really helped, I guess, is the advice is the for me, in the sense, if I was to work sort of say 9 till 3, like a student's day, I would say, I would need lots of breaks. So it's almost, for instance, if a child can work for say 20 minutes, I wouldn't say flat out, but if the child can kind of work, concentrate for 20 minutes and then break and then come back, rather than thinking that they got to get that whole piece of work done, or they've got to read that whole chapter, or they've got to do this. And it's those little kind of mini breaks that allows a child. Definitely does help. It would definitely help me looking back on it. It helps me now with the way that I look at work.
So it's be kind to yourself, isn't it? Really,
absolutely. That's
what you say. So I'm just going to go over and speak. So morning, Monique. Morning, Sophie. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your challenge or your challenges. So this.
Everything at school is a challenge for Sophie. Anything connected to language and processing what she is reading. This is a big challenge for her.
Yeah. And Sophie, how old are you, Sophie, to start with? Lovely age. And how have you found homeschooling?
Well, it was all right, but sometimes it got a bit tricky.
Which bits got tricky for you?
Probably mostly like the English and like the geography.
Yeah, they're the hardest subjects. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think that's, you know, learning online is difficult, isn't it? When you've got no teacher to ask, it's all done on the screen, and you get, like Darren says, incredibly tired. So we're going to go to a song now, but after that, maybe we can ask Darren for some more tips, Sophie. And if you can think of anything that you want to ask, then go ahead. The song we're going to have now is actually another one of yours, Darren. This is Read All About It, by Emilia Sande.
Yes. Yeah, so this is a song literally the past couple of years, and it kind of I love the words. The words are, you know, absolutely beautiful, and it really does. It kind of enables you to kind of look within yourself, and again, it comes down to kind of self-confidence, self-care, but really kind of know how special you are, and it really the words really resonated with me, and I think that. It's a beautiful song.
Yeah, let's have a listen to Emilia. She writes some and sings some beautiful songs.
Okay.
So that is a beautiful song. So lovely song. So Darren, tell me a little bit about sort of the tips and strategies that you can give people that are parents that are homeschooling, but also children that are homeschooling.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, you know, creating a space would be amazing for the individual. You know, kind of, you know, somewhere that's kind of quiet in the sense that they can you know, relax and feel kind of at home, I guess. And I know that's very difficult if you're, you know, working from home. It's very, you know, there's lots of noise and things going on. But you know, just having a designated space would be, you know, so great. But even little things like passwords, you know, just starting to get something started. I know whenever I'm starting to do something, if a child is taking a while trying to remember a password or trying to log on or trying to do these things, but the support you can give them at the start, because if they spend that time doing that, then they're already exasperated before they can get into actually the learning side of it. So anything that you can do to kind of pre-support, you know, those elements, lots and lots of breaks. You know, don't think, you know, you will actually, the child will be more encouraged to do it if they know that there's some breaks coming up. And also just trying to find it engaging. We tend to, with dyslexia, we tend to thrive when we're doing something that we're more engaged with. Now, I know that's very difficult because within school you're given certain subjects, and subjects you'll excel in, others you won't find that fascinating. But there are, if there's an element of bringing that engagement into it, that could really, really help the student.
I've been contacted by somebody who's actually at the start of the journey. They've got a 9-year-old son, and they've just texted me to say, to kind of say that they, I think homeschooling's highlighted it for this lady, because she said she's noticed how different her son is in lockdown. She's noticed he couldn't focus. He gets frustrated so much more. He finds reading hard work. He hates writing and will take a long time to produce a piece of work. Copies numbers and words out wrong. Muddles numbers. He's good at maths and art, but a real perfectionist. He also has a very poor memory. And this is what she's picked up. It's not been picked up by the school, but I think this homeschooling has made her see more of how her son is in a classroom situation. She says he's not been picked up by the school. He's very quiet at school. And even on Zoom homeschooling, he's very quiet. Super confident at home with his family, and is really good at judo and sport. And but it's just that she says it's really sad the school don't see his fun, cheeky side. She also says she's spoken to a school teacher on Bucks County Council and Sen at the school, and everyone seems to recommend going to get somewhere to get an official diagnosis report, starting at £800. And although she's booked that, the other thing she wants to kind of say is it's ridiculous that people can't afford that money. Any tips for her starting out on that journey? And then we'll listen to your journey, Monique and Sophie, because it's probably quite different.
Absolutely. Well, I completely, I know how tough it must be, starting that journey. And again, not just starting it, but going through it. When we're talking of huge sums of money of like £800, it is, that is really, really tough. I guess the British Dyslexia Association have an incredible wealth of knowledge on their actual website, and as you mentioned with the SEND side of it, they have so much kind of tips and guides to kind of walk you through a lot of the steps and the stages, and they do have a helpline within that. So I would definitely urge you to maybe have a look at the British Dyslexia Association website for that. There is so much. Sometimes there's information overload, so it's almost just, I guess the best thing if you're looking to tackle this in that sense is when you go onto their website is have a reason to think to yourself, what am I going in there for? Because you could get lost in that side of it. There are charities and there are organisations out there that can help with funding to help with the amount of money to pay for this. The schools can help and support without an actual diagnosis. There are some supports and elements on there, but it is a case of just, I guess, trying to get that the school to understand what the child's needs are and how best to support that individual. So those are a couple of. I've spoken to hundreds and hundreds of parents who are going through the similar element of it. There are a wealth of knowledge, and I think if you start with the school and the BDA, the British Dyslexia Association, that may then start the journey of where you can then get support within your local area as well.
Excellent. And Monique and Sophie, what was your journey like?
Well, the journey started in 2014 when we moved to UK, and the schools that Sophie went to, I can't blame them for. They put everything on the fact that English was not the first language for Sophie.
Yeah.
Our journey started even more tricky. It was more complicated, more difficult, and we can't blame the schools, putting the blame on the fact that she's not English was not the first language. But they kept on putting the blame on that. So they didn't recognize any signs of, and maybe they did, but they just waiting very long.
Mm.
And we changed the schools as well, because we noticed that the school that Sophie was at the beginning didn't have any support. They didn't pick up anything. They were just telling us everything is going to be all right. She's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But we as parents, we didn't feel like things are getting better.
And that's hard. That's really hard. And so, Sophie, how did it feel to you? We've got to play the news in a minute, and I know, Darren, I'm very conscious that you've got to go. Yeah. But how did it feel, Sophie, to you?
It felt very. It's like what was going on. Like,
yeah,
I just
couldn't keep up with the peers. Huh?
Yeah, it was like, what can't I do?
Yeah. But how amazing are you? How amazing that English wasn't your first language, and here you are speaking very fluent English, and coming on the radio show. I mean, you're amazing, absolutely amazing.
Truly incredible. Truly incredible.
Yeah.
Very hard work from us as parents, but also Sophie.
Yeah.
She's not giving up.
Yeah.
And she's also not afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
She's actually asking so many questions all the years. The teachers that I'm like, how the teacher had to have enough of Sophie and asking her questions what the word means, why we spell it like that.
Yeah, and that's important, Darren, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think one of the reasons why my school would put me in different classrooms, in the unit, was because I kept putting my hand up and kept asking questions. And I would definitely encourage you, keep asking those questions and keep learning and keep inspiring. And it's been incredible to meet and hear you today.
Brilliant, Darren. I know you've got a storytelling, and that's part of what you do, isn't it? So you've got to leave us now, which is really disappointing, because I think we could talk about this subject for a long, long time. So I think, Chrissy, we need to get Darren back on here for a whole session, sort of in a few months' time.
Absolutely, and I'm loving the song choices. Thank you very much.
I'm
me back as well.
Yeah, the song choices are amazing. Yeah, actually, you can before my show every month, I'm going to send you a list of, and you can send me a list of your most inspiring songs, Darren.
There are a few.
So, how do people contact you just before you go?
Yeah, so I'm on the social channels. So I'm primarily on LinkedIn, just under Darren Clark. I've got a website, Global Neurodiversity Consultant. But yeah, just if there's any questions whatsoever, then please contact me. I'll be delighted to help, or again speak to someone who can. In any way. But thank you so much indeed for your time today.
Brilliant, excellent. If you can ping me your email address, Darren, that would be great. If you're happy for people to email you, I can, and you're happy for me to give it out on air, I will do.
Most certainly.
Okay, fantastic having you on. Thank you very much. Enjoy your storytelling. We're going to go to the news now, but Monica and Chrissy, you're going to stay with me for a little while? Brilliant.
Yes, we can do that.
We were saying in the break, weren't we, about Greatest Showman? How fantastic that film is in terms of highlighting that everyone can be different and it's okay. We are, actually, if you think about it, we're all born with different DNA. So why we all try and be a herd and be the same, I don't know. We should be celebrating our individuality, shouldn't we? Anyway, so this is me. Monica and Sophie, it's so nice to have you on. So, Monica, you started telling us the journey that you were on and the fact that obviously Sophie, who's amazing, actually has conquered English. And, she obviously falling behind with her peers and that. How did that journey continue? How did you actually get help? Or, in fact, have you got help for Sophie?
Well, we kept on hearing from schools, everything is going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. We need more time to observe her. The English as not first language is the main problem. But we felt, as parents, it's not everything. Particularly because we have 3 children, and the oldest one, she didn't have a problem at all. And I'm talking now about 3 years later. And Sophie was still very behind and not keeping up at all, making very little progress. If there was any progress, she was giving very straight ideas about dyslexia. It happened that we have in family both sides dyslexic people.
Right.
So we knew a little bit about the dyslexia, not exactly directly one of our children before, the oldest one is not dyslexic. And so we thought it might be dyslexia because she's giving the signs of dyslexia, the direct signs of dyslexia. She's mixing letters. She's very slow. She can't recognize the same word on one page. She's reading it wrong on the other page. She can't remember anything. So direct signs of dyslexia. And maybe the school also had an idea that Sophie is dyslexic, but somehow they didn't help us. They didn't say, well, it's maybe handy to test Sophie for dyslexia. So we did it privately, most of the parents probably, you are hopeless, you don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
No one is really helping you. So we went private and we tested Sophie for dyslexia privately, and it came the report.
Yeah. And how did things change after that?
Well, with the report in the hands, we could go to the school and say, look, she is dyslexic.
Yeah.
And we expect you to take action.
Yeah. And have they?
They did somehow. Yeah, they helped a little bit, Sophie, but of course they don't have funds.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest.
The right teachers.
Yeah.
So they try to do something. They try to do probably. But the help she received from school was not really great. So we had to take all the action in our hands
Yeah.
to be able to help her.
Yeah. Which is sadly is often the case. And also the fact that you knew, you in Clint, I think parents are amazing. I always say, I teach antenatal, and I always say to the parents, you're an expert in your child. No one else is an expert. You might not think it, but you have instincts, and you go with your instincts. Probably helped by the fact you had older children. I know in my case, I didn't have anyone to compare my child to. So to start with, you think it's normal until you have another child who overtakes in the first 2 years. So it's really, but parents' instincts, well done you for actually sort of persevering and going with it. So Sophie, I'm going to come to you because you've chosen a song for me, haven't you? So Lost Boy by Ruth B. Why that song?
Because it like kind of reflects like now it's like we have to stay at home, not see each other, and we need to overcome this. We need each other's help.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah, we do. We all need to get together and know that it will come to an end. But I guess Lost Boy, I guess is that how you're feeling? A little bit lost?
A bit.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are feeling lost. So great song.
Birthday.
Great words there.
Thank
Lost
you.
boys,
Yesterday?
lost like me.
Yesterday.
Hopefully people will start not to feel lost and feel a little bit like after listening to this that they're okay and, they can celebrate themselves. So, Chrissy, you had a question.
Yes, I mean, we talked and heard Monica telling us about your experience when Sophie was undiagnosed and trying to get that diagnosis through going to private child psychologists, and that you had to follow that up a second time. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that experience with the psychologist specialist once you knew the diagnosis, and how that then went on to support Sophie through senior school?
Well, once we had the report from the specialist, psychologist, the school had to support us and had to do something. And actually, because of the report, we got a slightly... She was put in a Senko department. So she was signed, and it was like a program for Sophie. Somehow, I, as a parent, didn't feel like this program is helping much. So we decided to go further privately and search for one-to-one support for Sophie from the specialist, someone who is specialized in dyslexia and any dyslexic children and has a lot of experience. So we did it.
You were searching these people out.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just online Googling and seeing parents' comments, what they did, reading a lot. I spent hours digging in the internet to find anything about dyslexia, as I didn't have experience with that before. So I was spending hours digging and trying to find out and help Sophie. Because I saw in her the pain as well, that she's suffering and she can't go further. And she was such a great learner, and in general, she liked to go to school. She was enjoying the school. She was enjoying learning, but she couldn't progress. So we tried to find someone who can help her to go through this and learn her how she can help herself in a situation like to teach her how to behave when she experienced the problem.
Yeah.
And senior school, you're saying you're getting more help now in senior school. This was in primary school.
Yes. Well, from senior school, Sophie, maybe you can tell. You get.
I got a program called Dyslexia, and it like helps me improve comprehension, grammar, and then I get computers for English, so I can type instead of like having to write and like get the spellings right. And I also get extra time on exams. so I can really think about it.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's so good to finally hear that the system, the education system that first let you down, is now supporting you in the best way for Sophie. It seems to be a more, personalised.
Yeah.
Yes, we think all together help Sophie to be on how she's right now. She's very confident. She knows what kind of support she needs from the teacher. So she's immediately going to the teacher and saying and asking them. We feel like we did everything to help her, and the schools now are supporting her.
Yeah, brilliant. And Sophie, do you do other things to relax and help yourself as well? What sort of things have really helped you outside of school?
Well, I used to do yoga with Chrissy, and it really cleared my mind of like everything I didn't need and helped me focus.
Excellent. So yoga.
I'm so touched, to hear that, because I'm absolutely passionate about going into the education with my yoga and mindfulness, and to hear the child and the actual saying what difference it makes.
Yeah. Well done you. Well done you, Chrissy, but well done you, Sophie. So a song here, Paul Weller, Town Called Alice. Monica, would you want to say who this is for?
Well, it's for my husband. He loves Paul Weller, and he will enjoy listening to the song.
I think we all will. I love Paul Weller as well. I love this song. It takes me back. What about you, Chrissy? We're going to dance to this one?
I think so.
Okay. Paul Weller, Town Called Alice. Love it. So, I was just going to test your knowledge, Chrissy. Who do you know who's famous that's got dyslexia?
I should know. I'm going to say my husband.
Your husband, but what about celebrity?
Famous, but my husband.
He's famous to you. That's good. So, Monica, Sophie, name me one famous person who is dyslexic or is dyslexic. Can you think of anyone?
The actress. What was her name? Kira? No.
Yep. Keep going. The actress.
Yes, actress. What is her name?
Keira Knightley.
Yes, Keira Knightley. She's dyslexic.
Yep. Yeah. So also Whoopi
Goldberg.
Who?
Richard Branson.
Yeah, Richard Branson. But I'm Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay.
Steven Spielberg.
Wow.
Albert Einstein was dyslexic.
Albert Einstein was dyslexic. Yes. Amazing at maths, but couldn't read well and kept forgetting things. But yeah, and I mean, he's just a legend, isn't he? And Jamie Oliver, the cook. Yeah. And interestingly, the swing there is towards acting, music, cooking, maths, all of the things. What's your favourite subject, Sophie?
Science and art.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
Very creative.
Yeah.
Like the experimenting of science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much like my son Joshua, who's on the autistic spectrum, absolutely loves science and art and drama, dance.
Yeah. So it's about...
just make him... His little fire inside him, it's so good.
I think the problem is, isn't it, that also it's about finding what you really love to do and just going for it and being passionate about it. No different from Darren setting up his own business, going for something that he knew he had control over and he could be like he wanted to be. I think the problem is that a lot of the schooling system says you've got to have GCSE English to go on to the next stage. You've got to have GCSE Maths to go on to the next stage. And they're the biggest hurdles, aren't they, for some people? And yet they can be absolutely fantastic at such a lot of other things. And I think that's where the system almost fails in some ways, because it's saying you've got to have these things. Whereas if you go, to go to further education, even if you're doing a course that might not be even maths or English orientated a lot of the time. But well done.
Parents that push through and never give up, you're showing your children how to be resilient as well. You never gave up, and that's the main thing.
No, exactly.
And you can go through this. You can go through maths and English, but you need the right tools to go through this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's been lovely talking to you. I know, Chrissy, you've got to go, haven't you? Because you've got your birthday special treat again.
I can hear them. Yeah.
Yeah. And also the last day of no homeschooling. So
we're going to get outside now. So,
yeah, I don't blame you.
It works every day to get outside.
So Monica and Sophie, what are you planning to do this afternoon?
Probably go for a walk, another walk.
Yeah, another walk. Brilliant. Well, it's been really lovely having you on the show. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back sometime. Chrissy, you need to come back because you're my co-presenter. You don't get off of that one. And hopefully, Chrissy, you'll be in the studio next time, which will be good.
That would be amazing to come back into the studio.
Oh, I know. I know, and we can share. I mean, you made me hot chocolate once, didn't you? And you put some brand. What did you put in it? Baileys. Don't tell the listeners. So we do have fun in the studio.
You just did.
I know. So have a lovely afternoon, both of you. And I've got the last half an hour of the show. I've got so many requests from local Marlow people for birthdays and that. Any other songs you would like? Anything that springs to mind?
Not from the top of my head.
No, that's fine. You can always send me a note.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
You're absolutely. It's been absolutely wonderful, and I'm going to play this song "Just the Way You Are" by Bruno Mars. A great song, and I'm going to dedicate this to my daughter because it was her birthday yesterday, and this is a song I often play. She's probably not even listening, but she will when she's older. Hopefully, listen back and go, "That was my mother." And got. Rosie Granger, she's got 2 little kids. She lives in Marlow. Helen Corn, Susie Walker, it's her birthday. And on my birthday's next week on the 25th, so I should play this song for me, shouldn't I? But we've also got Karen Smith-Schaffer, she's a Marlow mum, Debbie Appleton and Hazel Lotus. They're all birthdays either this week. So happy birthday to us all
of you.
Yeah.
And we're all birthday buddies. So that's nice to know.
Exactly. So have a lovely day and have a lovely weekend, everybody. Take care.